If you're an entrepreneur, a creator, or a business owner, you will already know your brand is pretty much everything. But here's the real question. How do you find the right legal partner to protect it? Well, today, we're going to get you that answer. Let's dive right in.
So let's start with this. Is your brand truly protected? It sounds like a simple question, right? But the answer can be super complex. Your brand, your logo, that name you came up with, that's your entire identity out in the market. And without the right legal shield, it's just, well, it's vulnerable. And that vulnerability, it can end up costing you everything.
And that's exactly why we're here. In just the next few minutes, I'm going to give you a clear, actionable roadmap. No complicated legal jargon, just the essential strategy you need to find a legal partner who will become the guardian of your most valuable asset. Okay, first things first, let's really get a handle on what their role is. You got to think bigger than just attorney. A great trademark lawyer is more like your brand's guardian angel. It's champion out there in the marketplace. So, what do they actually do? Well, they're legal specialists who are totally dedicated to your brand's identity. They help you get it registered, they defend it from all the copycats out there, and they enforce your rights when somebody crosses a line. And it doesn't matter if you're a one-person startup or a giant global company, their role is absolutely essential. All right, so we know what they do. Now, how in the world do you spot a great one? Let's break down the core qualities that separate the good lawyers from the ones who are truly exceptional. Think of this as your talent scouting checklist. The best of the best have this powerful mix of traits. See, it's not just about knowing the law. It's about seeing what's coming, being able to fight for your corner, and having a genuine focus on you and your business. Let's dig into a few of the most critical ones. A great lawyer is always thinking ahead. They don't just react to problems as they pop up, they actually anticipate them. They'll look at your brand and ask, where could trouble come from in a year or 5 years? Here's a little pro tip for you. When you have a consultation, ask them to identify one future risk you haven't even thought of. Their answer is going to tell you everything you need to know about their strategic thinking. You are not just another case file. The best kind of lawyer actually invests their time to understand your business, your vision, your industry, your customers. Their advice should feel like it was custom made for you, not some generic, off-the-rack answer. So pay close attention to the questions they ask you. It'll show you if they're really digging deeper. In today's world, this one is completely non-negotiable. Your brand lives online, which means it's facing digital threats every single day. A top-tier lawyer gets this landscape, from social media impersonators to those annoying domain name squatters, and they know how to fight for you in the digital trenches. Now, as you're searching for a lawyer with all these qualities, you're probably going to run into two main styles. You've got your traditional established attorney, and then you have the more modern tech-forward practitioner. It's really useful to know the difference. There's no single right answer here. It is all about the right fit. Traditional lawyers, they bring a ton of experience and some really powerful networks, which can be invaluable. Modern lawyers often use technology to be more efficient, which can mean more competitive pricing. The real question you have to ask is which style aligns better with your business, your communication style, and, of course, your budget. Okay, let's get practical. You know what you're looking for, and you know the types of lawyers out there. So how do you actually go about hiring one? Let's walk through a simple 4-step plan that'll take you all the way from search to signature. This is your hiring roadmap. First, you've got to define your mission. What do you really need to accomplish? Then you do your homework, your research. Step 3 is so important. You have to talk to them. This is your chance to interview them, to really gauge their expertise, and to see if you actually click. And finally, you weigh the cost, not just as a number, but against the long-term value they're going to bring to the table. So, let's start with step 1. What's your number one goal right now? Are you just launching and you need to protect a brand new name? Then you want an expert in registration. Are you already in the middle of a fight? Then you need a proven litigator. And if your problems are all happening online, you absolutely have to prioritize that tech-savvy lawyer we were just talking about. Getting clear on your goal is the fastest way to find the right person. Before you can make that final call, you have to understand step 4, the cost. I know, legal fees can feel really confusing, but they don't have to be. Let's quickly decode the common ways lawyers charge for their services so you know exactly what you're looking at. So these are the main options you're going to see. Hourly is pretty straightforward. You pay for their time. A flat fee is fantastic for predictable jobs like filing an application because there are no surprises. Contingency is really common in lawsuits where the lawyer only gets paid if you win. And a retainer, well, that's like having a lawyer on call for any ongoing work. Always, and I mean always, ask which structure they use and make sure you get it in writing. So you found your lawyer, you've signed the papers. Guess what? The work isn't over. In fact, it's really just beginning. The success of your brand's protection is often directly tied to the strength of your partnership. Building that relationship really comes down to three things. First, communicate clearly and often. Don't ever be afraid to ask questions. Second, give your lawyer all the information they need, because what seems like a small detail to you can make a huge difference. And finally, trust the expert you hired. You chose them for a reason. Now you have to let them do their best work for you. You know, this quote really says it all. When you're engaged, when you're responsive and proactive, you're basically signaling to your lawyer that you're a serious partner in this whole process. That shared commitment, that's what motivates them, and ultimately what leads to the best results for your brand. At the end of the day, choosing a lawyer isn't just some legal task you check off a list. It's a fundamental business decision. The right partner does so much more than just file paperwork. They add real, lasting security and actual tangible value to your brand. So, it all comes down to this. Your brand is the story you're telling the world. The real question is, who are you going to trust to be its guardian and help you write its next successful chapter?